guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is J.Lynn. For those of you that are new here, welcome. I do post videos on my channel every week, so if you aren't already, I would really appreciate if you could subscribe to my channel. Also, if you could give me a thumbs up, it would really make my day. Today's video is going to be something a little different. As you can tell, we are in my kitchen because today I'm going to be sharing with you guys how you can make your very own white chocolate and CHEX Christmas mix, or what I refer to as Christmas crack. And the reason why I call it that is because every year since 2007, my grandmother and my aunt have made this yummy treat for all of us family members for the past 11 years, and this treat is so dang good and it's so easy to make. And since it is the holiday season, and I know Christmas time is the perfect time that everyone likes to make goodies for their loved ones and their friends and family members, I thought it would be the perfect time for me to share this recipe with you guys. So if this is something that you are interested in watching, then stay tuned. Alright guys, so the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to gather up all of your ingredients. And this recipe is so simple because it only requires 5 simple ingredients. You will need 1 cup of unprepared air-popped popcorn, 8 ounces of dry roasted and salted peanuts, a 12-ounce box of corn CHEX cereal, 1 tablespoon of creamy peanut butter, 10 squares of vanilla flavored almond bark, or 1 pound of almond bark if you do not use the Great Value brand, and lastly, you can use your treat bags to store them in, which of course is completely optional. After you have all of your ingredients ready, the next thing you are going to want to do is you're going to want to get your workstation ready, and you will do this by lining your countertops with 3 sheets of either parchment paper or wax paper, with each sheet measuring about 3 feet total, or at least long enough that you can spread the cereal out to dry. Then you're going to want to pop the 1 cup of popcorn either by a hot air popper or by stovetop. And since I did not have a hot air popper available, I used my stovetop to pop the popcorn instead. Once you have made your popcorn, you're going to want to sort through it to make sure that any leftover kernels do not make it into the mix. You will do this by using 2 bowls to separate your popcorn from the kernels, which, as you can see here, I did by placing all of the popcorn into a large 16-quart mixing bowl. Any leftover kernels that you do have afterwards can of course be thrown out. Next, you are going to want to pour the 8 ounces of the dry roasted and salted peanuts over your popcorn. You can do this by either using a measuring cup, or you can just pour them right out of the container, which is what I always do. You'll just have to be careful not to pour in any leftover powder at the bottom of your container. Also, be sure to throw out any of the burnt peanuts that you find, as those won't taste very good in your mix. Then you're going to take the 12-ounce box of corn CHEX cereal and you're going to pour that all over the popcorn and the peanuts, making sure that it is covered evenly. Next, you are going to cut up your squares of almond bark to prepare for melting. I prefer to use the Great Value brand because the squares are already lined out for you, making it easier for you to cut them evenly. Now, moving on to the melting process, or what I call the fun part, you are going to want to turn on your stove to medium-high heat. Once it is heated, you will then place your almond bark into your pan. At this time, you will also be putting in the 1 tablespoon of peanut butter to help with melting the almond bark. Be careful while melting the almond bark, as it burns really easily, so it is best to keep stirring until the almond bark is melted completely. Once your almond bark has melted, you are going to want to drizzle it all over your popcorn mix. You will then use a spatula to carefully stir the almond bark and the popcorn mix together. The best way that I was taught to do this is by putting the spatula at the bottom of your mix, and while you're bringing it back up, give it a slight twist while also moving your mixing bowl after each twist. You will then repeat this same method until all of the mixture has been fully covered in almond bark. After the popcorn mix has been fully covered, you will then pour it out in the middle of the parchment paper, and using the same spatula as before, you will carefully spread it out all over until you get a thin, evenly coat over the parchment paper so that the almond bark can dry. Now you will need to set a timer for about 15 to 20 minutes to ensure that the almond bark has fully dried and hardened. A good way to check and see if it has fully dried is to place your hand underneath the parchment paper to ensure that there is no more heat. Also, if it feels like the popcorn is sticking pretty firmly to the parchment paper, then you're ready to start gifting. Now, we are finally on to the gifting part. For best results, it is always easier to have one person help you hold the bag open while the other person pours the popcorn in. But if you do not have someone else available, you could still do it yourself. It just might take you a little longer to package everything. Also, be sure to break up the larger pieces into smaller ones. That way you can have the treat last even longer. Alright guys, so that's all for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you do end up making this recipe, please let me know in the comments below how it turned out for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye!